texture like sun lays me down. With my mind she runs throughout the night.
I have one closing comment, if I can just put a bookend on some of the things I've discussed here today.
Sure.
You know, I think again, speaking to the magic show that I assert that the FBI and the state is trying to perpetrate here to prosecute Kohberger. You know, a lot of magicians' distractions. Look at this shiny object that means nothing while we're doing all this shady stuff over here, that kind of thing. Well, back in May, when Brett Payne, the lead detective for the Moscow PD in this case here, when he took the stand to testify about his arresting affidavit of Kohberger, you know, Kohberger's defense team really tore that apart. And I think one of the most important things I think that speaks to this magic show that I'm talking about here is he testified. So we've discussed in the past with this regarding the white Hyundai Elantra that the Washington State guys, a couple of Washington State University officers identified it. They allegedly, according to the arresting affidavit, it reads as if they then notified Brett Payne about it, but that happened. But in between those dates, so that's November 28th, they identify it. Moscow PD on December 7th tells the entire world we're looking for a white Hyundai Elantra, and Brett Payne allegedly starts investigating it shortly thereafter. Now, the arresting affidavit reads like they were all working together. However, when Brett Payne took the stand, he claimed not to know anything about the phone calls and communications from Washington State University officers that identified Kohberger's car on November 28th. He then claims that he didn't hear about that until after he independently identified Kohberger as a suspect. So he then claims, like, after December 7th, he then identifies Kohberger as a suspect, and then a couple of days later learns that the Washington State officers had done that 3 weeks prior. Mind you, again, this is one department. They can claim they're not the same department. They function operationally as one department. The NFL, for example, the NFL has 32 teams, right? It's the new start of the NFL season. The NFL is one team. It's one 32 team, equal profit sharing operation. That does not matter any aspect of it. If any team does better than the other, the only thing that matters is if the 32 owners can come up with a narrative that produces the most amount of money because they all split it equally. When Tom Brady sells a jersey there in New England, Ron, the owner of the Miami Dolphins, one of his opponents, you know, for many years, he gets the same equal cut as the cut,
yeah, because it's NFL branded, yeah, for sure.
Yep. Same equal cut.
Wow.
Now so outwardly that's 32 different teams. Inwardly and operationally that's one team. They all work together in one purpose.
Right.
Same thing goes with Washington State University, Pullman, Washington, Moscow PD, and University of Idaho PD. Or the Moscow PD portion of the University of Idaho in that capacity, because they have a separate police force on the Washington side. Moscow does the campus police on the Idaho side. All of these organizations are one the county and the city PDs and the campus PD, they're one operational unit. They have the joint 911 center. All of their leadership sits on the same board together on these drug task force, et cetera. So to imply that in the largest murder case in any state, you know what I mean? Well, maybe not in any state, but in that area of the state for Washington, and in the largest murder case in the state of Idaho history, you mean to tell me that within the same law enforcement organization, they didn't share these details?
Right.
They wrote a report claiming that they did. When testified later, oh, these were all independent discoveries. No, they didn't tell me that. 3 weeks had passed by. We released these press releases. That's preposterous. This is part of the magic show. That's one law enforcement organization. They operate they don't operate independently. They were one organization prior to these murders. They'll be one organization after these murders.